The world is changing and you know it. And what is exactly changing is the foundation of security. What I mean by that is that this is the so called old world, right? This is the old world, and especially the economy, let's say that, because I speak to women who are professionals, multicultural professional women. You're educated, you went to university, you probably went into corporate, you traveled the world. Like for a long time, or let's not say for a long time, but for a while, you thought that you did everything that needed to be done in the old world in order to secure your place in the world in terms of money, but also of status and finances, status, and a level of lifestyle, right? A good life, right? We're here seeking the good life. That was me too. So we climbed the ladder. We climbed the ladder to then get, as I said, an academic degree and then get into academia and then into corporate, right? Like a big corporation where we thought we could make money. And this was our security. Right now, everything is crumbling, right? Everything is crumbling. And I'm really always giving real life examples. I am currently teaching a group of unemployed people who are looking to transition into a new job, and they have different courses on, in my case, communication. I teach communication and I teach especially nonviolent communication, because I also believe that that's a foundation of new communication of the new world, right? Because this world, this is the old world, and I want to give it a bigger context. I love context, okay? I personally love understanding big context. And I believe that my people can benefit from understanding bigger context as well. So if you are, again, a multicultural professional and you are now looking to transition and to create your own opportunities, and my solution for creating own opportunities is to first get to know who you truly are. We will speak about that, right? That is my process, is identity. Identity, who are you truly? Then it is about building your personal brand, and then also stepping into leadership, right? These words are still big words, but we will break it down to then come into this new economy. This is the creator economy. Okay, so this is the old world. This old world is crumbling on a large scale, and everything has to do with everything. I always say my approach is very holistic, and for some people it can be too big, but if you're here, I think that's exactly right for you. So this is the old pyramid, right? The pyramid with the white man, with the white god on top, right? White man, maybe, I don't know exactly how the hierarchy continues. Maybe it's then all other colors of men, right? Or then white women, and then black people, like Asian people, and then Indian people, and then black people. And at the bottom, they're probably women of the global majority, you, right? Like that was up until now a hierarchical structure of power and privilege. Power is a big thing. Power was very centralized. Power, again, also for me, I speak about all topics, and I'm going to speak the way I speak. If you want me to break it down even more, I can do that, but let me just assume that you're able to understand these big concepts. Power structure was very centralized, right? Institutions, the church, right? Then big corporations, institutions, like all of the organizations, all of the big organizations held the power. And everybody wanted to climb the ladder, right? Climb the ladder to get to the top of power. That is what we're speaking about if we're speaking about climbing the ladder, right? Climbing the ladder towards power. And we did that. I did that. You did that, right? We climbed the ladder for a while. We got our degree. We got into the big corporation, and we were a little tiny speck in this corporation. But this already secured a level of security, right? So now this world is crumbling. I always like to say, just to break it down again, the world was created on centralized power, meaning just a few people held all the power and everybody else had to climb their steep way up to gain some more power. I have personally never believed in that. And I probably think that you also have never really believed in that. I'm a millennial. I am 36 years young. And since I can remember thinking, I was always questioning like what actually is going on here, right? So this power structure is crumbling, right? Let's say I always like to say it's capitalism. It's all connected. Capitalism, racism, and patriarchy. These are the man-made power hierarchies, which is the pyramid, which is the cult, right? This is a man-made power structure. Man, right? People decided that that's the way we do it. And it was primarily the white men, right? I don't hate white men in general. I have a white stepdad, so I always see everything with nuance, but just to break it down into something that we can all understand. Power was centralized around that whiteness, maleness, and yeah, white men had the capital. Let's say that white men had the capital, and everybody else had to find their ways to get to more of the crumbs and build their own pie. That is the old paradigm. Paradigm, right? That's what I learned. It's the old paradigm. The old paradigm is built on scarcity, scarcity of resources, right? It's not enough for everybody to be wealthy. That is a myth, okay? That's a myth. That's a lie. Scarcity is a mindset. It's a worldview. It's a paradigm. A paradigm is a worldview, right? It's based on scarcity. It's based on lack. It's based on fear, right? That is the matrix, right? So many people call it the matrix. That is the matrix. I like to call it out, especially as a Black woman. We cannot jumble everything up in just one big pot, even though I'm very much for creating this new world. But for now, let's understand hierarchies, power, privilege, and structures, right? Just being very aware of how privilege and power was distributed up until now. So that group of people, white men who had the money, and then like watering it down like white women, and then men, and then again at the bottom of this man-made hierarchy are women of color. Let's just say that women of color, women of the global majority, hold the least power, hold the least power. Again, it's not my idea, it's not my belief, but that is that system. And this old system, this old paradigm, the matrix, whatever word you want to call, this matrix is based on fear, lack, scarcity of resources. That's why people say, okay, we have to hoard, right? We have to hoard all of the resources here, and the people, they can deal with the crumbs here. But it's a lie. Again, it's the wrong distribution of power and resources. Power has a lot to do with resources, right? So this is the old paradigm, and this old paradigm is crumbling. Why is it crumbling? It is also crumbling because people, power to the people, the masses, the majority, are waking up. And I believe that everything is divine, like everything that is interconnected played a role. Of course, the internet, people's consciousness, a level of suffering. People are waking up. People are no longer seeing themselves as exploitable resources, right? That all plays a part in what is happening. And now the transition that is happening, especially now, like the tip of the iceberg, truly, the tip of the iceberg truly that is currently happening is ultimately KI, is ultimately AI, right? Is ultimately the tip of the iceberg is ultimately now AI. AI shows us. I believe AI is a huge opportunity, to be honest, right? Of course, everything we have to see everything with nuance. We have to everything has risks and opportunity, always and ever, right? Nothing is ever only good. Everything has its good and its bad side. And at the same time, I believe AI has a huge potential to liberate us. And that's a huge topic of this 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 video. It's about liberation, it's about freedom. Because AI is showing us, yes, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. Yes. And at the same time, I believe that we no longer want to do the things that AI can do for us, because what AI can do for us is not what the human essence is about. And I believe it's one of the last vestiges of the human ego that is also crumbling, because many people associated themselves with their knowledge. And I can definitely say that about me too. I'm an intellectual. I'm a thinker. I know that my ideas are the money. I know that. And this is how I made my money in the past as well. And I continue to do it. And I still believe that AI cannot take that from me. But I also believe that we are so afraid of AI, and that AI is taking something from us that we thought is inherently human, ideas and creativity. But I believe that we have to let that idea go and really come to a new paradigm. And that is what it is. This is a new paradigm. Paradigma. I'm German, so I'm going to say a few German words here as well. In German, we say paradigma. In English, it's called paradigm, right? So we're transitioning into a new paradigm, and a lot of people are at the edge of fear because the system is crumbling, right? But I believe it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It has its ups and downs, absolutely. But I believe that we're moving towards something better, right? Where all of the fear matrix, the lack matrix, the scarcity matrix is being exposed, and people no longer want to play the game of being exploited. So what is the solution? I truly believe that one of the solutions now, especially right now, the way, like right now, as we are here in the middle of the year of 2026, this is one of the things that are happening. All of the women, and I'm speaking here to my intelligent women, to my knowledge workers, I'm speaking to my women who have intellectual capacity, intellectual property, intellectual capacity and intellectual property. You have learned something. You are a professional. Maybe you have or you have several degrees, right? You learned something. A lot of your value is not only in your knowledge, as I said, but in your experience, in your embodied knowledge, what you truly, truly, truly know. And this is what I want to transition into. And so this is where I helped you transition. So this is the new paradigm. This is the bridge, right? I'm a bridge. I'm a bridge, right? I take you to this new world, and this is the creator economy. The creator economy is not to be confused with being an influencer. A creator is somebody who creates their own infrastructures. If you have seen other videos of mine, I speak about that. I speak about creating real estate also in the digital economy, right? So let me bring this all together. The new paradigm that we're living in, this is the foundation. The new paradigm, I believe, is based on love. Yes, absolutely. Also, my participants in my communication class, which is a very formal education class, probably also think I'm a little kooky. But yes, we're now based on love, 100%, based on love, based on abundance, abundance, abundance of resources, which doesn't mean that we should waste resources, but let's just start with one concept: love, abundance, cooperation, cooperation, also curiosity, right? Curiosity, finding things out. Here, this was competition. This is the old one: competition, scarcity, right? Like fighting. But here's like collaboration, cooperation, curiosity, abundance, love. Um, yeah, yeah, exactly. Not fear, but curiosity, courage, abundance. Yes. And ultimately soul. Let's just say that. Let me just say that. I've already came out of the spiritual closet. It's about soul. I don't know if you can see it, but it's soul, courage, curiosity, cooperation, abundance, love, right? It is about coming together, community, right? It's about seeing us as one global family. Power to the people, right? Because the majority of us is the people. There's just some people up here that are hoarding all of the resources, but ultimately we're waking up to power to the people. And I believe that that comes with a lot of fear, because people who have worked for something don't want to be just jumbled in with the masses. And I do understand that. But what we need to understand now is that everybody has a God given hierarchy or a God given position in this new world. And this comes with and this is where I come in my work. This is where we have to truly see, who are you? Identity. And what I mean by identity is a whole cluster of things. And I want to clean this out and start new. Okay, so please remember this. This is the old world, and this old world is crumbling. It's an old paradigm. It is based on scarcity, lack, fear. It's on competition. This is what we see playing out right now, very heavy with all of the wars in the world, all of the catastrophes. Like, this is the pinnacle, also the pinnacle of, people always call it late stage capitalism. It's the pinnacle of this old world that is crumbling. And that's a good thing. Again, it's a good thing. And we are now at the transition. It's a threshold. We're now transitioning into a new world. Okay. All right. So let me wipe this out, and then I want to paint a new picture for us. Okay. So this is the old world, and now here is the new world. Okay. So the new world is now based on new, and that's where we are going. The new world is based on a new paradigm, which is love, like cooperation, the things I just mentioned. Okay, it's a new world. It's a new world. And who are you in this world? That's what you are interested in, right? Who are you? How can you serve? How can you create a fulfilled life? And especially, how can you contribute and make money? And I think it's a very, very legit question, and I do not want to downplay it. It is important. People always say, like, purpose is not only how you make money, but I am also somebody. I like to make money. And I like to, because money is not only about money, it's also about being compensated for the energy that you bring, right? And again, that's why I'm saying I'm speaking to professional women who have already learned a lot, who already have a lot to give, right? So now let's dive into who you are becoming in the bigger picture, right? I always like to speak about the bigger picture, because nobody is an island, but we first have to individuate before we can bring ourselves into the community. Okay, so the foundation truly is your identity. Identity And if you haven't watched my other video on the original method, I go deeper into this, but I will be speaking about this again and again. So your identity, I number one believe that you have a soul print. You do have a soul print. You have a soul imprint, and that is found in your astrology chart, in your gene keys, and in your human design. These are amazing, amazing modalities for you to find out what you are truly here to do. I'm so for real. I want to read a few things to you that I have in my chart, okay? Just for you to understand. If you're not familiar with the concept of it, I am so dead serious. Also for my skeptics, if you think astrology and all of the bullshit, you've never heard about that, maybe you come from the corporate world where you speak about Maya bricks or something like that, right? I can tell you this is so for real, and you should definitely tap into that. This is what I do. The soul print is where you can really find what it is that you're here to do, and especially if you are around my age. I say, like, the people I attract are from mid-20 to even to mid-40, right? That's my range of people. I'm 36 myself, so that's the kind of people that I guide, and everybody who resonates, but that's my kind of bracket, right? So what I can say here is that my personal soul catalyst, just by putting in my birth date and where I was born and the time I was born, like all of the information you need for your astrology chart are the same information you need for your gene keys and for your human design. So what I want to say here truly is that this is what came out for me. All right, so my soul signal catalyst is my brand essence. Let's listen to this. I am the calm revolution that helps people finally hear themselves. That's who I am. Okay, my brand essence is about, like, I am not here to build loud. I am here to build a brand that feels unmistakably true. My chart carries a rare combination of emotional depth. That's true. I'm a Cancer sun. Practical wisdom, very practical. As I said, for me, everything is practical, even though I'm a spiritual and all of that. Where is the money and how can we do it? How can we put it into practice today? Okay, very important. Okay, sustainable growth. I'm not here for the quick fix, and I'm also not here for the quick growth. It's really about growth. It's about organic growth, right? Sustainable growth. And yes, I am a responsive life force. That means that I need, please, I need your interaction, okay? I'm not only here to teach from the pulpit. I teach best when I get your questions, when I know what you need from me. I truly can tell you I'm a resource. I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of knowledge. Please use me by asking questions, okay? So people don't simply learn from me, they feel seen by me. And I think that's so true. Your energy naturally bridges heart and strategy. Yes. You translate complex inner experience into language people can finally understand. Yes. Rather than convincing people, you create enough safety that they convince themselves. That's what it's about. That makes your work transformational rather than transactional. Yes. Yeah. There's also an unmistakable leadership signature in your design. Your 2-5 profile blends natural talent with practical problem solving, while your Aquarius midheaven points towards becoming known for innovative thinking that challenges conventional leadership and communication. Your business grows when you stop trying to fit existing categories and instead allow your own philosophy to become the category. Yes. And that's another thing. I want to check in with you, okay? So I naturally attract people who are already successful on paper. Okay, you got the things, okay? Because I was you. Okay, I attract people who are successful on paper, but know they're meant for deeper alignment and authentic expression. Yes. Want to become visible leaders without performing a version of themselves that feels false. Yes, just like me. I'm sitting here in my office space, very relaxed. I'm speaking to you. I'm finally daring to speak to you the way I speak. Also, the way I speak in my classes, the way I speak with people at the table. right? I don't no longer, I don't want to perform an image of me. This is my image. Okay? And if you resonate with that, that's the same. You are free to be you. People will resonate with you when you are the way you are. But also, people crave meaningful impact and want to create businesses that transform lives while honoring their own well-being. Very important, right? I will put this away just for you to check. This came out from my own combination of my soul print, my gene keys, my astrology, and my human design. So you will find, and especially if you have a level of maturity, you will find that it's true because you have enough life experience to check it with your personal life experience. For me, it is very true. This is the kind of people I've always been attracting. I have been a coach for 10 years now. From the go, I attracted founders, I attracted activists, I attracted rappers, I attracted like global people, global impact. That's just who I am. That's just who I am. And now I know it very clearly, and the same we can do for you, okay? But that's not enough. We will have to do some more, okay? That's very, very important, but it's not enough. I personally believe in storytelling, your identity, storytelling. And what I mean by that is that you will have to go back also in your personal story, in your history, because this is where it all began. Today, I just spoke with a woman who was 60, right? She's one of the participants in my communication class. And she also told me, just like that, she told me that she always knew that her mother was a fishy individual. Let's just say that her mother operated from more of the old paradigm, from more of the fear, the lack, the scarcity, always criticizing her and other people, being very uppity, being elitist, like climbing the ladder, right? So she told me that this woman was 60 today, right? And why I'm saying that is because she identified that she has always had a unique perspective, how she saw her parents, how she saw the world since she was a little girl. And that's why I say it's so important for you to also dive back into your own story and to learn to trust yourself, because I always do that. My story, one of the fundamental stories, also part of my brand, is being multicultural. I am the child of a German mother and a Ghanaian father, and it has shaped me until today, right? I have always learned to find truth beyond color, culture, religion, circumstances, right? I draw truth from everywhere, and it's beneath the surface, right? That shapes me until now. And this is my talent, right? This is, I believe, it's part of my soul's mission, but this is an embodied thing, right? This is something that I've learned throughout my life, right? That's why I always speak about my mother and my father and my childhood and my black father and my black mother and my working class background and my migrant background, and then also me with that consciousness being the first in my family who went on to go to higher education and so on and so forth. It's part of my story. That's why I share it. And I hope that resonates with you and you feel seen and you feel heard, because you might have a similar background or you can just identify with that. Okay, so it's important for you to also storytell, integrate your whole story and integrate your whole personality. That's the time now. We're no longer living in times where you have to hide behind a mask to be professional, right? No, this time is past. You have to be authentic, okay, with your beliefs, with your values, with your political beliefs, with your social beliefs, with your religious beliefs, with your values, all of the things that were taboo for a long time. Now is the time. This is how you connect to people. You connect to people by being as real as you can be, which is all connected to your identity. Okay, storytelling, and this is also part of the values and beliefs. These are your personal, but it also ties in with this new paradigm. And one thing also, the leaders of this new world are leaders that have always felt the new paradigm, which is love, cooperation, which is abundance, right? Abundance, and enough, right? There's literally enough for all of us to be fine. That's the new paradigm. That's the truth, right? That's the new paradigm. And also, are that your values? Are that your beliefs, right? And then also, what's your mission? What's your mission, right? So this is the identity that I'm speaking about. It's truly rooted in who you are. Another level of that, of course, is the spirituality, right? Is the aspect of you being a divine being. Like ultimately, this is what gives me all of the confidence to do what I did and to have done what I've done, right? I invested over 100K into my knowledge, and I've been through many dark nights of the souls and dark places. Like I've been through that. Okay. So all of that because I knew that I had a higher calling, because I knew that I had a spiritual calling and I had to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. But I knew that I was a star, right? I knew that I was a star. I knew that I was an earth angel. I knew that I was called to something bigger. And I am now bringing this to you. And the same thing is true for you. So I'm going to help you to carve out your star, your identity, your soul print, your childhood stories, and how those stories shaped you and your beliefs and your values. And then we are also going to do the transformational work, right? To release you from all of the things that no longer serve you. That is the first thing. But then also, what is your mission? So I'm taking another example, and that another person in my current program, in this communication program that I teach, is a white guy. He's older. He's probably also in his maybe late 50s. I would think, and he is like the archetypal successful white guy. Like he was working his whole life for this big corporation, and now he's unemployed, right? So he has come to terms with the old system. Here's the old system. Please remember what I painted, right? Where there's a hierarchy, where's the system. He climbed up the ladder and he thought he's going to come to the holy land of the scarcity of resources here, and he fell down, boom. Right? And now people are waking up and we have to find each other on the ground of being human. Okay? So he's in that group, and what I'm seeing here with him is that he needs to come to my program as well. Like I'm geared towards women, but he would be a good client as well, just in terms of he is a professional. He has worked in corporate for a long time. He has a lot of skills, but now these skills need to be put to use in this new paradigm where it's about love and cooperation and curiosity and learning each other again. It's about humanity. It's about power to the people, right? It's really about that. And at the same time, we also need structures, right? This is not going to be an anarchistic world. Like it's not going to be crazy. No, please. I love order, law and order, divine law and order. Okay, so we need a person who fell here from the grace of the system, who can bring in his and her skills. Okay, I'm taking that example because that's probably you too, right? You have skills and we need you in this new paradigm, but with structure. Okay, identify who you are, your story, what shaped you, your values, your beliefs, and what is your mission, right? My mission is to help professionals build a personal brand that is in alignment with their identity, but also plays a big role in this new paradigm. Okay, so the next thing here for you to understand, for me, very important, which goes in hand, that you release yourself from the old limiting beliefs that are not in alignment with this new paradigm of true abundance and trust and faith and value and compensation for your value, right? You will be compensated. You will make money from your value. Okay, this is not a charity project. Even though your service and your business is contributing to the betterment of everyone, you still get to be compensated. Okay, and very important for that, for us to come through, is to first understand again the system that we are releasing ourselves from, which is the capitalistic, patriarchal, racist system. Understanding those power hierarchies, why because those systems live in us. And I want to give you an example. A power hierarchy is proximity to whiteness. Through proximity to whiteness, there was, in the rubric here of racism, was colorism as well. Colorism is a hierarchy of better and worse in terms of proximity to whiteness. Black is worse, white is good. That is colorism, right? So brown is better than black, and then caramel is better than brown, and then white, pale, pearl is better than black. That is colorism. And those things live in us, and they live in others as well. We need to identify that. It's false, it's man-made, okay? It's not true. The same thing about patriarchy. Patriarchy suggests that being a man is better than being a woman. It's higher up on the ladder of power and privilege in the hierarchy thinking. It's false. It's a lie. But patriarchal structures, meaning patriarchal beauty standards, appeasing to the male gaze, being picked by a man, is not the highest thing for a woman anymore. Okay, that's a lie. Okay, patriarchal structures is a lie. It's an indoctrination. It's a hypnosis. It's a scam. Okay, and capitalism is about that the person who has the most money is the most valuable person, which is also false. We need money, yes. We need capital, yes. But it's not about glorifying rich people, okay? Also, deconstructing, that is what we're doing here. We're deconstructing the system that we have all been indoctrinated by, okay? Thank you. Then the next layer here is our parents, right? I always like to say our father and our mother. They are the literal embodiments of this system. Our father is the patriarch, right? Our father, in my case, my father is a man, but he was black. My mother is a woman, but she was white, right? So I deconstruct both on both sides. And then, of course, my mom came from working class. Look, a lot of W, white woman working class. That's her stigma, right? White woman working class. My dad was black, male, and an immigrant, right? An immigrant. So all of that came with a set of indoctrines, which is connected to an even deeper bloodline, right? I hope you can still follow me, right? So my mom was indoctrinated by her parents, who also inherited those capitalistic, patriarchal, racist, subconscious programming. So if now I want to do that, here again, I'm the star. You are the star. You want to refine yourself.